Hello fellow cinephiles, Film Guru here. Today I'm reviewing Mile 22. Now this film was directed by Berg. It stars Mark Walberg, Lauren Cohen, John Malkovich, Iko Uwais and Ronda Rousey. It is the story of an elite American intelligence agency who are sort of a black ops sort of group who go around and try and stop terrorism and a variety of other things from transpiring. And a really fictional police officer comes forward with information in regards to a terrorist attack that's going to transpire, and he provides information on a particular hard disk that is encrypted, and only he has the code to open it up and get the information from it. He tries to make a deal with this group to get him onto a plane into America, and once he gets onto the plane then he'll give him the code in order to open this disk. Now this particular disk only has 8 hours before it is corrupted and destroyed and all the information is lost. It's up to this elite team to try and get this particular guy, to get him from the office that they're in to the airport in order for him to get on this plane so they can get this code and use the information on the disk to stop these terrorist attacks from happening. And it's up to this group to do that, and it takes 22 miles to get there, hence the title of the film. And it's really about this group led by James Silver, played by Mark Walberg, and his team, trying to get this guy to safety. And along the way, it's really about them trying not to get killed. There's a group trying to stop them from accomplishing their goal and also kill this particular police officers giving them information. So it becomes really about a race against time, them trying to get there. Things are not what they seem, and this film and the story quickly spirals out of control, and you're not quite sure who's going to make it and who's not and what's really going on. That's really all the film is sort of about. It's a very simple, basic story. This is a fourth collaboration between Mark Walberg and Berg, and this is a bit different to the other 3 films that they have made. The other 3 films were based on true stories, where this isn't, and this is more of a departure for Berg, Mark Wahlberg's collaboration, and this is sort of just a made-up sort of story. But it still looks at the idea of terrorism, and it really looks at the idea that terrorism has taken a new face. It's not transpiring the way it used to, where you would know that a particular person was a terrorist or think you knew they were a particular terrorist. Now it could be anyone, and anything could transpire from that. The world has changed in regards to this, and the ability that people have of doing these attacks, and you're not quite sure who they could be or aren't. Wahlberg's really good in this. This is a character that really suits him, playing James Silver, who's a sort of a unique sort of character. He's definitely on the autistic spectrum. He's either a high function autistic or he has Asperger's, but there's something there, and he's definitely on the spectrum. Just his way of interacting with people and the way he gets fixated on things, and he's not really good with people. Some people he is, some people he isn't. And he has a particular rubber band he has around his wrist, and when things get a bit too crazy and his mind gets a bit too chaotic, he does snap that in order to bring him back to the present moment. He's a very highly intelligent man, and he knows a lot of what's going on, and he retains information very effectively. Well put together. There's some really great action sequences in it, and having Iko Uwais from The Raid in it is fantastic, and here's some great moments and really great fight sequences, and he's really proven himself as not only a really fantastic martial artist but a very solid actor as well, and he's really great in this as a police officer there trying to get to the plane, and it's great to see him do what he does best in this. And I think the other fight sequences are really good. With Walberg is really great in this, with a character that really suits him. Lauren Cohen is really great in this as well, and she's really proving herself as an action star, and all that time she's spent on Walking Dead is sort of prepared her for other roles like this, and I think she's really, really great in this. And her and Wahlberg's character is the one I sort of get behind. And it's entertaining. It's a good, solid action film with Berg doing what he does best at making a sort of very entertaining and fun sort of film. The only criticism I really have about this film is there isn't a lot of character development. You don't really care too much about the characters. The only characters you really get a sense of who they are a little bit is Mark Wahlberg's character and Lauren Cohen. Like, I think they both have a little bit of backstory and a little interest there that you sort of know them a little bit, but you don't really get a sense of any character in this film. You're sort of thrown into the world and into the film. You don't quite know what's sort of going on. There's a few jump cuts with important information, and I found myself a bit lost of what's going on. There's also this whole thing with Wahlberg's character doing a particular interview, and he's talking about the events that transpired, and we jump back and forth between that interview and what happened, and I found myself a bit lost. It was like we're just thrown into the world, hit the ground running. We didn't really know what was going on, and we didn't really learn enough about the characters, of what was transpiring through the film. They do have the basic story, and there is a few twists and turns along the way, and things aren't what they seem, and I thought that was kind of clever. But I just felt I didn't really get a sense of people, and I felt a bit lost throughout the film a lot of times. Yes, the action sequences are really good, and there are some really other good sequences in it, but I just felt I didn't really get a sense of anything or anyone in the film. And like I said, it's a departure for Peter Berg from the previous 3 other films that him and Walberg worked upon: Soul Survivor, Deepwater Horizon, and The Patriots' Day. But it is a solid action film, and it does what it sets out to do, and you do go on the journey, and it is an exciting sort of film to get behind. I just felt if they had a bit more character development, a bit more understanding of what was going on, it would have made the film a lot better, I felt. Final verdict. I don't know if this film's going to be for everyone, but people who do like action movies might get a lot out of it. I just felt a little disappointed with certain aspects of the film, but I did enjoy the film. Look, I'm going to give this film 3.5 out of 5. It's not as good as it could have been, and I would have liked a bit more character development, a bit more interest in the characters and the plot, and know what's sort of going on a bit more than I was able to see. I think Peter Berg's made a very solid and interesting film. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed what you've seen here, please hit subscribe down the bottom. Otherwise, until next time, enjoy the movies.